Hi, and welcome to the Week 6 wrap-up of Blood, Sweat, and Taylor Swift. Oh, hello. I'm Taylor Swift, and I love football now, so all the little girls should love football too. Oh, yeah, look at you. Do-do-do-do-do. Starbucks lovers. Love story stuff. Hey, guys. And welcome to the Week 6 wrap-up. As you can see, Taylor has decided to join us because in so many ways, it is now the Taylor Swift Football League because everything is based on what Taylor likes. And thankfully, her favorite color is red, and her favorite football player is Travis Kelce. And so we've gotten to see a lot of that. I do know that a guy that I work with has even told me that his 11-year-old daughter is now a massive Kansas City Chiefs fan, single. She's only one person, because of Taylor Swift. And so millions, if not tens of millions of young females are probably watching football now just because of this. So that's why I created the new sign for Blood, Sweat, and Taylor Swift. As you can see, I still haven't fixed the camera because I really haven't had time to mess with it. But it's fine. It'll get by. Next week, the commish should be back, so you won't have to endure any of my crazy antics. You go back to his very calm demeanor. He'll tell us very precisely about what happened. It'll be very factual. And there'll be no shenanigans, no pictures of Taylor Swift. Hi, Taylor. No puppetry. I know Don Chris loves the puppetry. But I just wanted to talk about the games this week and tell you a funny story that I thought of while I was looking through some stuff of my parents. I think you all enjoy it. Just let me look at my notes. We can see that I really almost won. I came this close. I lost to Alex Billy. Billy, I knew you were trouble. Ubble. And I'm just going to have to shake it off this week. You'll notice a theme here today. Seth Mike, he really handed it to Joey there. We knew he was the one. The commish lost to Don Chris. Don Chris bounces back. The commish, who started off this season in stunning fashion, ever since he started gallivanting for Jesus, has come to know losing all too well. Thank you. I'm here all night. We see that Aaron Badonkachonk, he gave it to Keith. We all collectively clapped in the league when that happened. But I have to say, Keith, if you want to make it back to December, you're probably going to have to start winning at some point. Too funny. H2, his game with Ian actually was pretty close at times. It was like it was going to be a love story, but in the end, H2 was just mean. Okay, so oh, look, it's Taylor Swift, and my funny punny jokes are on the back. Oh, my little ruler to hold it up. Yay. So I hope you guys enjoyed all that and the shenanigans that came with it. So I was reminded of a funny story. It's not exactly football related, but when Joey posted the Instagram story about telling your children the stories of your team, and there got to be a little bit of discussion on that, I thought of something that happened in our family that I was reminded of when I was helping to move my parents. My nephew, who's now 20 years old, when he was a very small child, they lived with my mom and dad, and he loved NASCAR. He started watching NASCAR on his own. Somehow it was on television. He liked the cars going around. My dad, who's probably not the best babysitter in the world, thought that it would be awesome if he could watch more car racing, and then my dad could do whatever he wanted to do. So my dad set him down in front of it, and he watched it on the couch. They wound up going to the store and buying him a few cars of a couple famous drivers, I think like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and a couple other guys. So my dad decided to make up a driver. And this driver only appeared on the screen when Braden, my nephew, left the room or got preoccupied doing something else. And the driver's name was Clarence Bruja. And he drove some specific car and a specific number. My dad even looked up like what car numbers weren't being used and what companies didn't have sponsors, just because he didn't want him to see another one going around the track, because my nephew was about 3 or 4 at this time. He couldn't really read, but he could identify M&Ms and things like that on the screen. He knew what a lot of the symbols were. And so my dad makes up this guy, Clarence Bruja, number blah, 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 who drives the such and such car. And my nephew was really confused because he's like, I never see him. He's like, oh, he was on there just a minute ago. My nephew would go over and play with the dog or something. He's like, oh, look, there's Clarence Brujas on the screen. And so this happened over and over again for months. And finally, my nephew, despite only being maybe 4 years old by the time this all came to a head, he started figuring out that my dad was lying to him. And so he would pretend not to be watching, but he secretly was watching. And my dad would say, oh, look, there's Clarence. And he'd pop up and he calls my dad Pawpaw. Pawpaw, I was watching and there is no Clarence Bruja. Oh, my dad would be like, yeah, you just missed him. No, I didn't. I was watching. And it would go back and forth. But it was fun that, Joey brought up that story, the Instagram story about telling your children the lore of your football team, but also the crazy things that dads and grandpas do to their children just to torment them. And funny conclusion to that story, when he was several years older, I actually looked into going online. There's companies that make die-cast cars, and I was going to have one of those cars made for Clarence Bruja and send it to my nephew. However, I did not, because the company that I found to do that was charging $150 for a die-cast car, and $150 as a joke to your nephew is a little more than my budget allows. So that's that. But like I said, guys, the commish will be back next week. I hope that you have a great week, better weekend. Again, as always, if you're playing me, I hope you lose. Alex Billy, you did a really, really poor job of that this week. We lost on garbage time. I lost on garbage time. You didn't lose. You won. But I was ahead of you by this much. And in garbage time, you came back and beat me. And that's really sad for me, not for you. It's happy for you. But I love you guys all. And I hope everybody except who plays me and Keith has a wonderful week in fantasy. So talk to you later, guys. Bye.